time to check in with Hubert Davis, our good friends at CR Legal Team. CR Commitment, CR Results, CR Legal Team, proud partner of Carolina Athletics, make it possible. The best time to check in with Hubert Davis is after a win, which the Tar Heels did. They defeated Syracuse this weekend. Big performances from several Tar Heels. Coach Davis, we've talked several times this year about consistency, and we saw an example Saturday of some ups, which are always good to see. In your experience as a player and a coach, what are the biggest obstacles to consistency?
The obstacles to consistency, well, I think going away from the foundation, fundamental pieces of what allows you to be consistent. I always tell them that, in terms of discipline, it doesn't mean that you're perfect. It just means that you're committed to doing the right things the right way with the right type of effort. And so when you have a departure of that, I think that's where the inconsistency comes from. And also not letting teams dictate and decide how you play, and irregardless if it's a team that's playing man, playing zone, pressing, taking care of the basketball, setting solid on legal screens, boxing out, shot selection. Those are things that translate irregardless of what the opponent is doing.
I have said this before. I've never asked you if
you have.
Yes, if you think it is accurate.
Checking in with Jones.
Yeah. You should ask me if you've said this before.
No,
don't say to yourself. No, I've said this before.
I am confident I've said this before, but I've never asked you this. So obviously, and you'd be a much better authority than me. It feels like the way that you like to play, that position, that 4 position, is really important in your offense, kind of how you want.
You have said that before.
I have said so. Am I right in saying? And I understand every position. I understand that every position has value, obviously, and it's a team thing. But does that position, is it important in the way that you want to play? Am I right in saying that or not?
You are. That quote unquote 4 position is huge for a number of reasons. Defensively, being able to guard 1 through 5. Being able to rebound. On the offensive end, I like that position to be able to shoot, be able to handle the basketball. Really, it's a bigger guard that can get to the offensive glass, that has the ability to post up and finish around the basket. It's a hybrid player that can interchange and do a number of things close to the basket and away on both ends of the floor. And so when that position is playing really well, it changes our team completely. It really does. And the way that Jay Witt played against Syracuse, it changed our team completely. I thought it made us better offensively, obviously, but even ways that people probably didn't notice from a defensive standpoint. Like, Davis for Syracuse, like, he can score in the post. We didn't have to double team him and Lampkin, and so his ability to be able to switch 1 through 4, guard the 4, rebound the 4, that was just huge for us, and I was really proud of it.
How did that become something that was important to the way you view the game? What was it in your past that made you think this is sort of not the key position, but this is an important position that other things hinge on?
That's a way that I've always liked to play. As an assistant coach, I really liked Bryce Johnson in there. I mean, he could shoot, he can run, he can defend, he can rebound. He could do a number of things. He could pass. I really liked Luke May. I thought he was that stretch 4 that could handle the basketball, that could shoot, could finish, could rebound, played hard. And so when I became head coach, I didn't want 2 bigs posting up on the block. I wanted one of the bigs to be a bigger guard, and that's just the way that I like to play. And so when you have guys like Brady Manick and Harrison Ingram and, the way that Jay Witt played against Syracuse, it really changes our team and makes it really good.
Go ahead, Adam.
When we don't see you for a couple weeks, we didn't see you last Monday because the Tar Heels were playing, obviously. It gives me these bad chances.
No, you did see me.
Oh, yeah, well, we saw you, just not in here.
Okay,
We weren't able to
but
check
you
in.
did see me.
Yeah, we saw it from afar, but we were so far we were going to be like, Hubert Davis, we have a couple questions up here at the top of the lower level. So it gives us a chance to like think about all the things you have to deal with. So I have to think one of the great things and one of the stressful things about being a coach is that every team is different. And I would think that probably makes it fun and terrible all at the same time. So when you have a team like this team, that I think we can agree has a little longer learning curve than maybe some others, like maybe longer than last year. How do you then have to adapt what you do in terms of giving them stuff during the year that you think will be beneficial?
I think that's the number one thing that I have learned at being a head coach is that every team is different. The team is different. The personality is different. The makeup is different. The way that they react and respond, the way that they hear things are different. Irregardless, even if you have the same players from year to year, it is completely different. And going into this, I thought, the more returning players that there is consistency, but it would be consistency in terms, there's been plays that we run one year that we score almost every time. And then the next year we run that play, and I don't know if we scored on it once. Or there's a play the one year, it's like that play doesn't work, and then this year it's like our number one play, and it's really interesting how every year is different. Now you add on just the changes of teams every year with the transfer portal, NIL, it's really interesting to find out the personality of each team, find out what motivates them, how do they receive information, how do they respond and react, who are the leaders, what's the best way defensively and offensively to play to get the most out of each talent. So that's the fun part, is trying to figure it out every year. But that's the number one thing, that it doesn't matter if you have all 15 guys back. It is a different year from a different team from year to year.
Syracuse, because of the way the game was going, threw out a press late and had some success, and then you guys also broke it some. Yeah. And just from a straight basketball perspective, what would you like your team to do if a team is pressing you? How do you guys better handle it if that comes again here over the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I thought in some ways we did a really good job handling it. I don't think we panicked. In those situations, you have, one of the things that Coach Williams used to always say is, the last 2 feet of every pass is yours. You have to meet it, catch with 2 hands, pass with 2 hands. So I felt like we were strong and confident with it. Our spacing has to get better. We were catching the ball deep in the corner, and the two guys that are normally catching the ball deep in the corner are RJ and Elliott, and they're not 7'2", and so we were fortunate to get fouled and be able to get the ball across half court, which I thought was really key for us. And so we've got to tweak and pivot a couple things just to put more options out there, more space for our guys to catch the ball and don't feel like they're trapped in the corner where there's nowhere to go. But overall, I thought there was only one time that we got a jump ball. And that's when they try to steal the ball away from Witt. But other than that, I thought we took care of the basketball and did a good job handling their press.
Last thing, at least for me, you guys are coming in a stretch here where you play 3 times in 6 days.
Yeah.
And so obviously a small amount of time with a lot amount of games. Does that make any difference to you? I mean, anything that you do managing practice, games, minutes, anything like that, or does that not matter at this point?
No, our focus is on NC State on Wednesday, and we'll throw everything at them because they are deserving of that. And so we had Sunday off, and we'll have practice Monday and Tuesday in preparation for Wednesday. And then after that game, we'll think about Virginia on Saturday and then Florida State on Monday. But 3 games in a week. We've played 3 games in 3 days. Yeah. And so it's basketball. We get an opportunity, a chance to compete and play in this unbelievable conference. And so we're excited about the challenge this week.